You have the freedom to choose how you respond to the situation and circumstances that you find yourself in. This is something that nothing and no one can take away from you. You always have this freedom to be able to choose how you respond. But it is almost like a muscle, it's a skill set you have to repeatedly practice and to really exercise the ability to choose how you want to respond. And that's what we're going to cover here today in this video. Choosing how you respond is one of those things that you have full control over. And in the world of athletics, there's a lot of things that you cannot control. And there's a lot of structure and systems that exist that sometimes can make it feel like there isn't this ability to have freedom to choose certain things within those structures and those systems. But no matter whether it's a coach, a governing body, a sports organization, right, and the systems and the structures and the situations that exist for you on your journey, you always get to choose how you respond. But you have to actually set yourself up to really be able to choose how you respond. And every time that you make a choice to respond to the situations and to really be conscious of saying, I'm choosing how I'm going to respond here, and knowing that's something that you have control over, you gain more autonomy, more independence, more confidence in your journey and in your path, knowing that no matter what happens, no matter where you find yourself, you're always going to get the ability to be able to respond in the manner in which you want to. And that's huge when you finally kind of realize that. And there's different ways that you can go about doing this, and we're going to look at this and explore this in different sections in different videos moving forward. But really beginning to understand that you can make that choice is huge. And one of those ways is through gaining ownership over your sports performance. Gaining ownership over your sports performance really helps you to find ways to respond in ways that are going to be helpful for you, that are going to be beneficial for you, to help you really be the athlete that you want and can be. And looking at the different ways that you can take ownership is something we're going to really explore in another video. But to really help you to maybe start to think about, engage how much ownership you have over your sports performance and your journey as an athlete, I want you to kind of reflect on these questions. And as you reflect on these questions, I want you to really look at all the facets of your performance. Sometimes some of the facets are missed, or some of the things that influence your sports performance are missed when it comes time to really taking ownership. You have the physical, mental, and emotional components of the equation. You have to look at all of them and everything that falls underneath them, and really making sure that you're taking full responsibility for them. So that really is question number one, is do you take full responsibility for everything that happens to your performance and to what is influencing your performance as an athlete? And as I said, looking at all three things is really, really important. If you have really bad self-talk, if you're really negative, really, really critical of yourself, are you doing things to help yourself become better with your self-talk? Are you finding ways to train your self-talk, to be able to be more aware of your self-talk so you can change your self-talk? If you're not doing anything away from your sports performance to help you with your self-talk, you're not taking full ownership over your performance. It's easy to sit there and just say, oh, my self-talk is just horrible and it just kind of gets away from me. But you actually can train your self-talk. That's one of the other things that you have full control over, is your self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? And if you're not actually taking any action on it to make it better, you're not taking full ownership over your sports performance. Another thing to also think about is if, let's say, maybe your emotions get the better of you when you're out there. Again, do you do things to help you with that, to help you manage it, to learn how to become better at managing your emotions, dealing with certain circumstances so that your emotions don't get the better of you? Though that's another thing that, you really need to look at and say, do you do something about that? Another thing could also be, if you make a mistake because you weren't paying attention to the right thing at the right moment, are you doing something to train your attention away from your performance? Are you actively trying to develop your attentional skill set. And if you're not, again, you're not taking full ownership over your sports performance. So with this first question, and you look at all the different facets of the equation, you have to be able to answer yes to say, with everything that influences my sports performance, can I say, yes, I take full responsibility for all of those things? And that's question number one. Question number two is, do you put in full effort, and do you hold yourself accountable to putting in full effort? And again, it goes into all three things: physical, mental, and emotional aspects of your performance. And putting in full effort is not just within your performance arena. It's also with the things that you do away from your practices, your games, your competitions that influence what happen in your practices, your games, and your competitions, right? Are you putting in full effort? And sometimes putting in full effort means actually sitting there and doing meditation and trying to focus on your breathing, which is a different type of effort than going out there and running as hard as you can. But again, are you putting in full effort to the things that you need to do to be the very best athlete that you can be? And so again, you have to be able to answer yes to that question to know that you're taking full ownership over your sports performance journey. So first question, second question, you need to be able to answer yes to. And then this final question is, do you blame others when things don't go well? And that's, something that can often happen. We can blame coaches, we can blame a ref, we can blame a general manager or a sports organization. We can kind of blame people very easily at times and hand over that responsibility to them. And that, if you answered yes to that question, you're not taking full responsibility and full ownership over your performance. So you have to answer yes to the first two questions and no to the final question to kind of be on track to know that you are taking full ownership and have taken full ownership of your sports performance journey. And if you haven't, then we're going to explore some ways in the next video in how you can really take full ownership. And again, with that, really be able to choose how you want to respond and really gain the freedom that comes along with it.